Hello and welcome. Do you like weird and wacky plants like I do? Well, you know, I have my share of plants that you see that you'd call more common, like pothos and aglaonemas, spas, etc., etc. I'm looking around at all of my plants here, but I like a weird and wacky one too. So I'm going to be just doing a fun video today. I'm going to show you 5 of my current favorites that I've had. I've had all of these for a while. Now, I'm not going to do care posts on these because this would take too long to do care posts on 5 plants. But if you were interested in a care post or a repotting post on any of these, please let me know down below because I've been growing all of these for a while. I'm also going to throw in 3 sort of bonus plants that almost made it on the list. Now, if I were to do this video next week, they could very well be on the list because you know how that goes with plants. So let's get started with the first one. It is a succulent. It's right here, off here. Oops. It is string up buttons, and it's so cute in this pot too, this vase pot. And this actually grows on a windowsill, so these are all up here, so it makes it look as though he or she has crazy hair growing out. But if I pick it up this way, they fall off, and actually in doing that, a few of the stems have broken off here because they're so heavy. So what I'm going to do is I don't know if I can just break this one off and show you. Yeah, this one came off. So what I will do is I am going to propagate it and stick it back in here. I'm probably going to eventually repot this soon. This is a pot that doesn't have a hole. It has no drain hole in it, so I want to give it a little more room too because it is enjoying itself in the spot in the window. So this is, oops, wacky plant number 1, string up buttons. All right, going to get you carefully off of here. So you see, all the little tips, you know, some of the little tips are breaking off too. By the way, if you have a small tip, you know, like this, you can just stick it in the soil and it will root. So this is Epiphyllum Curly Sue. It's also called Curly Locks, and I got it in San Diego probably like 6 years ago. It's doing fine. See, it's crazy wacky. I love this one. Does fine here in the desert. I live in the Arizona desert, by the way, where it is. Stop it. Okay, we're done with this. He's 8. I'm glad that I didn't have him when he was 2. Dazzy. It's doing fine here. Stop it. And it's like 107 out today. It is very hot here in the Southwest. Anyway, this gets small white flowers. Here it gets small white flowers. If it was in a humid climate, it would get, you know, the flowers would get larger, but you know, the flowers are only tiny here. But I really need to repot this. It is in, the soil is very hard on this. Oh my gosh, it's got roots. That's what happens when you have over 75 houseplants. If you don't pay attention to all of them carefully, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, this one needs to be potted and this one needs blah blah. So I think I will repot this soon. So if anybody is interested in that, let me know. But this is plant number 2. It is June 7th, so it's putting out some nice new growth here. And this one sits on the edge of the bathtub. I don't use my bathtub, so my bathtub is lined with plants, and it actually has some plants in it too. So that's what I use my bathtub for. Okay, so this one is Curly Sue or or curly locks. And epiphyllums are also known as orchid cactus. In this day and age of AI and all the internet changes, I've just decided to do more YouTube because you can actually see me as a person, where oftentimes with a blog post you don't really know who's writing the post, and that worked before, but so I'm trying to stick to doing 4 YouTube videos per month, or if there's a 5-week month it would be 5. So, and we do shorts too. My microphone has fallen down over here because of the cat, so hopefully it's okay. So on to one of my very favorites. That's what I say about a lot of plants, I know. This is dancing bones. And now I know somebody wants a care post on this because they've asked me, and it is going to be coming up soon, so I will do a care post on this because it really is an easy plant. And this gets yellow flowers. So I don't know if it's going to flower. I forget when it flowers, gosh. It flowers every year, but it gets these bright yellow flowers on it. It's really pretty. But I like this one a lot. As you can see here, it hangs down and it goes up and it just kind of flops all around. And it's called dancing bones. I think it's also called skeleton cactus or something, because if you look carefully at the stems, they look like bones or joints, they go in and out. So this is another one that I really enjoy. Dancing bones. So this plant is a Gasteria, and Gasterias aren't quite as common as Haworthias, but they're really, really hardy. They can take lower light, not no light, but lower light, lower to moderate light, fine, so it's great. And this one's got tiny pups coming. They grow slow, so they do eventually pup. But I love it in this pot because it looks like instead of it has a mohawk going this way, the mohawk is going this way. But this one is a great plant if you want an extremely easy care plant that doesn't take up any room at all. So, and number 5 is my Raindrop Peperomia. And it might not be what you call wacky. It all depends on your, definition of it. Some people might call a monstera a wacky plant, which it is, but it's more common, I think. So anyway, the Raindrop Peperomia, I love the glossy green foliage, but I love the form of this one. It's just kind of crazy. It was growing a little bit more upright, honestly, and one morning I came out in my kitchen and it had fallen off of the counter. So I had to give it a prune job, and this is what has resulted. But I just love the shape of it, and it's got those nice glossy green leaves. I've got 6 peperomias, and they're all easy to care for too. They make great houseplants. So that is it. That wraps up my 5. Now I'm going to go gather my bonus ones. Instead of bonus, I actually probably should have said honorable mention. So I'll start with the starfish snake plant, Sansevieria. Well, actually it's not Sansevieria anymore. We still call it, Sansevieria, but the genus has been changed to Dracaena, so this is technically a Dracaena boncel, the starfish snake plant. Love this one. Another tough and easy one. Put that over there. And then this is Astapelia. It has flowered a couple of times. It didn't flower last year. I think it's just getting kind of tired in the dry air, but it still looks okay-ish. But I do feed it every month, so it's still okay. It's got some new growth on it, but I just like the form of this one. We had one in our greenhouse growing up. My dad built a greenhouse and we had a really big one. It looked a lot more robust than this, but this was back in New England in a greenhouse. This is in the desert in southern Arizona. And then we have the adorable living stones. And there were 3 in here. Oh, let me zoom in on this because this is so small. Here we go. You can see them a little bit better here. There was a 3rd one here, but it died. I've had these for about 5 or 6 years, I think. So they're just adorable, and there's someone who grows them here in town, so we can find them at different nurseries here too, so that's great. But they are just adorable and they make great houseplants. I have a lot of weird and wacky plants out in my garden, my front garden and my back garden, because a lot of the cacti here are all very strange. But these are just the ones I wanted to share with you. Again, if you want to know anything more about them, I can do a video for you on that, or if there's any other plant that I happen to have. I don't go out and especially buy a lot of plants because I've got so many. I've got to get rid of some plants, meaning give them away before I get more plants. But if there's anything that you are curious about, please let me know, because as I said, I'm trying to up the ante on the YouTube content. You beautiful YouTube people. So anyway, I hope you found this to be interesting and might have inspired you to get one of these plants. As I said, I've had them all for a while now, and they're all alive and kicking and doing just fine. So let's see, what else do I want to say? Oh yes, I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes. I truly appreciate them, and your thumbs up. They really mean a lot. Thank you. And now let's get out in our gardens or into our indoor gardens and make our worlds a more beautiful place. Speaking of which, I have wrapped up my gardening pretty much outside now because it is so hot. Yes, in June my gardening is over because it's just too hot to be out there in the garden. So I come in to my indoor garden. I mean, I do spend time outside, of course, but I'm not out there, working in the garden. So anyway, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much. Happy gardening. Bye.